Hello，大家好，欢迎大家回来。霍格华兹的传承，上次我们来到了霍格华兹，
Might want to think that again.
被分到史莱哲林了。
Ugh, not going to move there, are you?
Here, watch this.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
诶，没有爆掉，
Told you.
是妙丽吧？
You should have listened to me. Ah, I know who you are. You're the new Slytherin, the one who barged in with Professor Fig last night. Interesting tactic on your first day, taking all the attention away from the first years. I'm Imelda, by the way. Shame I wasn't with you in Fig. I could have lured that dragon away. My skills on a broom are legendary.
Perhaps Professor Fig's friend would have survived if we'd had your help.
Precisely. Perhaps one of these days I'll show you a thing or two about flying. I can teach you more than Kogawa ever could. Speaking of which, I'd like to get in some time on my broom before classes.
Do you have a lot of time to fly during school?
I make the time. There's nothing like swerving through the spires of the castle and around the Quidditch pitch to clear the mind.
Are you a keen Wizard Chess fan? You knew that boy was going to lose the match.
Not really. Much too sedate a pastime for me. Also, it's simply not that challenging. The moves are always so obvious. Why does no one else see it?
Goodbye, Imelda.
Nice meeting you.
他很自满呢，我没有很喜欢他。
I think I heard one. Doubt mermaids find us that interesting. Ah, based on all the chatter when you entered the common room, I'm guessing you're the new 5th year. I'm Ominous. Ominous Gaunt.
Nice to meet you, Ominous.
Well, you certainly had a memorable arrival.
Well, if I'm going to make my mark here, I had to start right away.
You're definitely in the right house. Do let me know if I can be of any help as you navigate your first days here, though I doubt you'll need it.
Are you expecting to be sorted into Slytherin?
Most certainly. My family on my father's side are direct descendants of Salazar Slytherin, one of the 4 founders of Hogwarts. Not something I'm especially proud of, mind you. He was obsessed with blood status, a pure-blood maniac. Unfortunately, most of his descendants do not fall far from that tree.
Did that student say he thought he heard a mermaid?
Yes, but I've never heard of a mermaid showing up outside our common room window. It is fun to play along, though. Been known to keep some first years on the lookout for hours.
Thank you, Ominous. Very nice to meet you.
Pleasure was all mine. Don't be a stranger.
Is the new 5th year Slytherin in here? Professor Weasley's waiting for you just by the stairs.
哦，好可爱，会动哎。这是支线吗？就习惯偷听别人讲话，然后想这个支线。有那么高吗？哎，真的。
Good morning. I trust you're ready for your first day at Hogwarts?
I've been dreaming of this day for a long time. Can't believe I'm here.
Well, you are here. Make the most of it. You only have one first day at Hogwarts. Now, in light of your unique situation, joining us as a 5th year, you'll need to catch up with your classmates and not fall behind. Especially as you'll be expected to complete your OWLs at the end of the year.
OWLs? Owls?
Yes, your ordinary wizarding level exams. They will determine what type of career you can have when you leave here. After much discussion with the headmaster and the Department of Magical Education at the Ministry, we've devised something extraordinary to ensure your success. Here you are.
任务日志吗？
What is it?
It is a wizard's field guide. It will help you to keep track of what you are learning so that you master all that's expected of a 5th year. You would be wise to take full advantage of this exceptionally valuable resource.
哦，
Thank you, Professor, but what do you mean it will keep track of what I'm learning?
Perhaps seeing it in action will answer any questions you may have. Walk with me and we shall put it to the test. This way.
哦，是放
I
置的。
certainly would have appreciated something like the field guide when I was a student. Using the guide will also train you to be alert to your surroundings.
可以走快一点吗？拜
The
托。
guide will give you opportunities to practice your magic and educate yourself about wizarding lore. Do keep up.
我在你后面啊。
Why don't you cast Revelio on that statue and see what details the field guide can provide?
Revelio.
这个雕像刻画着水怪，这种生物是发源自爱尔兰和大不列颠的变形水生恶魔，通常幻化成长松马的姿态出现。目前已知体型最大的水怪是出没在苏格兰的尼斯湖水怪。开启实战指南。啊，我的等级。 挑战啊，就一直收集，就是了这个也可以收集，是不是？
Revelio.
Keep your eyes open for more opportunities like that, inside and outside of the castle.
.可以走快一点，或者讲话吗？你不觉得这样很无聊吗？讲话啊。
Ah, good timing. Perfect opportunity to show you how to use flue flames to get around a bit quicker. Your field guide contains a map of the castle. Open it up and find Central Hall.
你发现一个呼噜焰快速穿梭点，可以随时开启地图，快速前往发现的呼噜焰。为2个主要区域，学生和教授住的地方。大理石是这里。绿色是已经发现的，好。他为我解锁了，怎么解锁？他怎么帮我解锁呢？笑死！啊，为什么我要帮我学魔法？
And here we are. Quite the time saver. These stairs lead directly to Central Hall. You can get almost anywhere in the castle quickly from Central Hall. That should be all for now. You'll be expected to attend both Charms and Defense Against the Dark Arts classes today. And I'd like to be sure you get to Hogsmeade as soon as possible to replace the supplies you lost on the way here.
What will I learn in Charms class?
Exactly what you might expect. Spells, charms, jinxes, all terribly useful. I think you will enjoy Professor Ronan. He's a clever and entertaining wizard, and a talented teacher.
Can you tell me more about the Defense Against the Dark Arts class?
Defense against the dark arts, as the name implies, focuses on how to defend oneself against the evils that lurk beyond these walls. A mastery of defense against the dark arts is required for those who aspire to become auras. Fortunately, we are lucky to have the ever-gifted Professor Heckert in charge of our students' education in that regard.
这两个我都蛮有兴趣的啊。
You mentioned Hogsmeade, Professor.
Hogsmeade is the only all-wizarding village in Britain and is home to an array of shops and pubs. You should be able to find all of the school supplies you require in Hogsmeade. You will also, I imagine, enjoy many a butterbeer there with friends in due course.
Thank you, Professor Weasley.
A lot to absorb on your first day, and you have much to learn. Happily, your professors have agreed to create additional assignments for you outside of class. You'll be up to speed in no time. Judging by your adept use of Revelio earlier, I'd say Professor Fig succeeded in at least showing you the basics.
He did, Professor.
He's been terribly vague as to the events preceding your arrival, specifically about what happened after that awful dragon attack. My suspicion is that there's more to the story than a search for belongings and an extended trip up to the castle.
I'm sorry, Professor, but I'm afraid that's all there is to it.
Almost precisely what Professor Fig said. Speak of the devil, Professor Fig. Your ears must have been burning.
Oh?
Yes. You seem to have provided our new fifth year with a solid foundation in the basics of spellcasting.
Ah, I'm afraid I can't take all the credit there, Professor. They've a rare aptitude for magic, it seems.
Well, I'm just glad you both arrived in one piece. Perfectly good boats and carriages to Hogwarts, and you chose to fly in the path of a dragon.
I wouldn't say I chose the dragon's path, Professor. Rather unfortunately, it would seem that it chose us.
Very well. Enough chit-chat. I need to get to class myself. Might I rely on you, Professor Fig, to explain the details of the field guide's map?
Of course.
Thank you.
还要
Good
介绍
luck
吗？
today, and remember to use your field guide. It will be invaluable to you. And invaluable to me, as I'll be using it to keep up to date on your progress.
Yes, Professor.
Come and find me in my classroom after you've attended both classes today, and I'll explain more about those assignments I mentioned. And we'll see if we can't get you to Hogsmeade for those supplies.
Revelio.
没有东西吗？我以为有哎、我有听到叮叮叮哦，这里，这个可以看是不是？这是个什么？
It's good to see you, Professor.
And you. I was hoping our paths would cross today, before you immersed yourself in studies. Did I hear you masterfully evade Professor Weasley's interrogation regarding our late arrival?
I did my best, but I'm fairly certain she suspects that we're not being entirely forthcoming.
Yes, well, Professor Weasley is a brilliant and astute witch. It was right to keep the details to yourself for now. We don't know where this path we've embarked upon will lead. It may require a bit more flexibility with your time than she would approve of. And she may feel obliged to share details with the headmaster that would be better left between us.
Understood, Professor.
Good. Now, as capable as you are, I believe the ability you possess obliges you to be well trained. Happily, you have the benefit of an exceptionally skilled team of witches and wizards to guide you. Speaking of guides, and so that I may avoid another not-so-subtle reproof from Professor Weasley, why don't I show you the clever enchantment we included in the field guide's map? Unfold it and have a look.
哦，首先任务就是读书，是不是？ 好的，最终任务，这先魔咒吧。
The map is enchanted to help you find your way.
This will be incredibly helpful. Thank you.
Now, sounds like you've quite a day ahead, what with classes and a trip to Hogsmeade for supplies, including your own wand. You'll enjoy Mr. Ollivander. He's an exceptional craftsman and a good friend. I shall reach out when I have more information about our mysterious locket. For now, focus on your classes and pay attention. More than your owls may hinge on the magic you are able to master within these walls.
我们今天先来上一堂课看看吧。魔法罗盘已解锁，看一下有什么新任务。出席魔法课程，地图有什么吧？对，暂时应该只有这2个任务。好，没关系，先上课。库存我是不是有其他东西啊？哦，什么都没有哎。装备呢？我有手套耶，没有属性。是哈利波特的眼镜。头饰，这是福尔摩斯的帽子吗？超像的哎。看起来好冷哦。哦，不错哦。好，今天先跟着走，因为我想赶快先解完这个任务，给大家看看，或是还有我自己也体验一下。然后我再来探索，最爱的啦，就是偷偷探索。
Revelio.
Here, behind you. There is an open seat here.
Thank you.
Hello, I am Nettie. So you are the new student. Have you met Professor Ronan yet?
Shall we begin? Welcome to Year 5 of Charms. Now, this will be a crucial year in your education on the art of charm work. But I am confident that we will take hold with the passion and rigor requisite of such a challenge. Right, now, everyone, please open your textbooks to page 517. But before we begin, can anyone here tell me the difference between the incantations of the color change and growth charms? Anyone? Anyone? I am afraid it is too late to study now. My, the summer months must have really taken a toll on you all. By the looks of it, you all spent your holidays practicing Obliviate on one another. Do you even remember how to perform a basic summoning charm? Well, it seems that we are in dire need of review. Everyone get into pairs and take positions on opposite sides of the classroom. Now let's put those textbooks to use as the blunt objects you so believe they are, and take turns summoning them out of one another's hands. Only one book will be needed per partnership, Miss Dale. Thank you. Get into place now. 小走。
那其实没有按到，应该也可以，是不是啊？
Accio.
That is not bad.
You are a swift learner. I see a lot of potential, but remember, potential is nothing without practice. Keep at it. You might just rival Miss Onai here. Very good, everyone. That's enough of that. Well, as you all seem to have the basics down, and it is an exceptionally lovely day, I was thinking that we might have ourselves a little excursion outside for a spot of fresh air. After me.
哦，今天就学一招哦。
I've always found that fun goes hand in hand with mastery, as I'm sure the Quidditch players amongst us would agree. Hmm? So, what better than a bit of sport to put our prowess with the summoning charm to the test, right? So why don't we have our newest student start us off? Hmm? Very simply, cast Accio on one of the spheres and relinquish your charm at the last possible moment. Now, think of this like gobstones, if you will, but instead of throwing the marbles out, you are summoning them toward you. The trick is to pull the sphere as far as possible, but not a bit more, or it'll fall, yes? Now, I could keep talking about theory all day, but practice is the best professor. Show us how it's done.
Accio.
Splendid!
啊，掉了！啊，
Stay focused.
可惜。
That's it! Very good! Very good! Points to Slytherin. But there's certainly no sport in playing without some friendly competition. Miss Onai, would you care to give our new student a bit of a challenge? Come on up. You'll be the blues, just as before, and Miss Onai, you are playing red. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Be sharp.
很强哎！
That is how it's done.
我能存档吗？现在设定吗？储存，哎，无法储存。啊，可惜。
Excellent. Good.
Let us see this. There we go. Quite impressive. Watch this.
哦，太棒了，太棒了！
Accio.
哦，平手。
That's it.
还好没有输。
Let us make this a bit more interesting, shall we?
I think we are well past interesting at this point.
I'll say.
Enough chatter. Focus now. You will need it.
就站中间比
This
较好。
round settles it all.
Be sharp. That is how it's done. Accio.
哦，刚好50。
Let us see this. There we go.
不掉，不要掉，不要掉！
Brilliant.
卡一打喽！不撞我啊！
Accio.
A perfect score. Remarkable.
耶！我还怕它掉下去。
Very good, both of you. Well done. Class is dismissed. Gather your things on the way out.
Good game back there. I must admit, I think I underestimated you. Took me weeks to become proficient with Accio. Took weeks for me to get anything right when I transferred here. It gets easier, I promise.
That's good to hear. It's a lot to take in all at once.
To put it lightly, I remember how I felt when I first arrived. I transferred here from Ouagadougou just before my 4th year. My mother received an offer to teach divination here. Before I knew it, we had left Uganda and were halfway around the world at a new school in a new country.
Is Ouagadougou much bigger than Hogwarts?
Ouagadougou School of Magic is the largest wizarding school in the world. So yes, bigger than Hogwarts. But it never seemed intimidating or overwhelming to me. It always felt like home.
Is Ouagadougou a castle, like Hogwarts?
Its address is Mountains of the Moon. It is not so much a castle as a beautiful edifice carved out of the mountainside. I remember the first time I saw it, the mist was so thick I could hardly make out anything at all. And then it just materialized before me, this enormous school that seemed to be floating in midair.
This may seem an odd question, but is magic the same there as it is here?
Mostly, yes. But I did have to learn how to use a wand when I arrived here. Hardly anyone at Ouagadougou uses one.
You can cast spells without a wand?
Oh, yes. I find wandless magic to be much more instinctive. Not to mention quite convenient if one is without their wand. I must admit, however, that I am growing quite fond of using a wand. It seems very dramatic.
It's nice to learn about another wizarding school.
Thank you for asking. I do miss Ouagadougou, but I am glad to be here at Hogwarts. Ah, I think Professor Ronan wants to talk to you. Better not keep him waiting. Until next time.
Of course, you can use Accio on humans, if you're so inclined.
A word, if you would.
You'd be using it on clothing, to be precise, Sebastian. You know it won't work on humans.
好啦，今天我们先到这边结束啦，谢谢大家收看，我们下次再见啦！如果大家喜欢的话，请记得给我点赞，好订阅，还有什么开启小铃铛，我这个我还好，好，谢谢大家收看，我们下次再见啦，拜拜。